Great North Woods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, 2 Belfast teenagers have been arrested and charged with arson in connection with a structure fire in the town. We'll have the details coming up.
Plus, rising oil prices driven by the conflict in Iran are increasing asphalt costs in Maine as towns prepare for the busy paving season.
And a local radio station held their fundraiser broadcast over the weekend for TSA agents and members of the Coast Guard. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll also have a special guest later on, returning to Good Morning Maine to fill us in on a special event that's going to take place later on this week. That's going to raise money for pancreatic cancer.
Yes, very important
they'll have
event.
Barbershop quartets, all kinds of neat
going
things.
On.
Fun event, and we'll hear about that later on. But first, to check the forecast, and looking like a cloudy day ahead today. Might see some sun too. The big news, though, is temperatures will be up near 60 degrees.
That will be nice.
Yeah.
We'll turn things over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Already we have advisories posted, a small craft advisory up along the coast, and that will last until about 6 a.m. as we head towards your Tuesday. A winter weather advisory up, and that will last until 11 a.m. Wednesday. We do have some wintry weather on the way. Concerns for a little bit of ice that will be on the way moving forward with our next wintry system en route. But for now, we are quiet out there. We will have some clouds that's already developing, and we'll hold on to those moving forward. Today and tonight, we will be dry, but we will have more active weather starting later on into the forecast period. But as we do zoom things out, we're watching activity moving in from the west. There's a front off to the northwest, but it's farther out toward the west. We'll have to watch for more activity that will begin to move in. So futurecast, we're watching for energy clearing out. Will be mostly cloudy today, mostly cloudy tonight, and then once we head towards your Tuesday, notice activity will begin during the afternoon and even evening time frame. That's ice and snow that's farther off towards the north that we'll have to keep an eye on. Hourly forecast moving forward, we'll have clouds today with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa?
Thank you, Devin. We'll see you a little later on. Well, first this morning, authorities are actively investigating an aggravated assault that occurred on Court Street in Bangor. The incident happened around 5:30 on Sunday morning, and according to a spokesperson with the Bangor Police Department, authorities received a report of someone injured in an aggravated assault at a residence on Court Street. According to social media reports, it was a stabbing, although there's no information about what exactly happened or the condition of those involved. Details are limited at this time, but Bangor police say there is no threat to the public.
Well, meanwhile, 2 Belfast teenagers have been charged with arson in connection with a structure fire. According to the Department of Public Safety, the city's fire and police departments were sent to 81 Patterson Hill Road in Belfast early Friday morning for a reported structure fire. And when they arrived, the structure was fully involved in flames. They also found 2 people near the scene, 19-year-olds Isaac Cummings and Rowan Locke, both of Belfast. An investigation determined the fire was intentionally set, and later in the afternoon, Fire Marshal's Office investigators charged the 2 19-year-olds with arson. The Department of Public Safety says Cummings and Locke were both transported to the Somerset County Jail. They're being held there on $10,000 cash bail.
Meanwhile, an arrest was made on Friday in connection to a fire at a convenience store in Howland that occurred over 3 years ago. A Penobscot County grand jury indicted 39-year-old Samantha Randall of Howland on arson charges in connection with that fire. According to the Department of Public Safety, back in November of 2022, firefighters responded to a reported structure fire at the Howland Corner Store. First responders confronted active fire conditions and signs of rapid fire development shortly after the store had closed on that Wednesday evening. Authorities say the investigation remains ongoing and additional arrests or charges are expected.
3 people were displaced last night after a fire tore through a single-family home in Ripley. At around 12:30 Sunday afternoon, the Dexter Fire Department, which covers the Ripley area, was dispatched to the Seavey Road. A Upon arrival, officials reported the building was heavily engulfed. The fire was upgraded to a second alarm, triggering mutual aid from neighboring departments in Somerset, Penobscot, and Piscataquis counties. According to Dexter Fire Captain Steve Brown, despite there not being any hydrants in the area, shuttling water from an external source wasn't necessary. The homeowner told ABC7 Fox 22 that their daughter and their animals were the only ones home at the time of the fire, and they're all safe this morning.
Focusing on a brick building that the folks lived in. It's got a flat roof, heavy fire inside. There's batteries that were running the solar panels is apparently what started the blaze. We're focusing on extinguishing those at this time.
Fire officials say the home is a total loss. The family did not have insurance, but a GoFundMe has been started to help support the family. We'll also have a link to that GoFundMe on our website at foxbangor.com.
In other news, crews in Trenton were called back to the Open Hearth Inn on Sunday morning after a fire had rekindled. It's the same inn that caught fire and suffered severe damage to one of the main buildings on Saturday. According to the Trenton Volunteer Fire Department, upon arrival, crews found smoke and hot spots in a roof line. They say multiple layers of shingles had been installed on the building over the years, which allowed heat and fire to extend and smolder in concealed areas. The fire department says those areas are now fully extinguished. The inn's co-manager, Kristen Coombs, told us that the fire affected one of the main buildings of the inn where two individuals were staying at the time. Those individuals were unharmed and moved to a different location on the property. The Department of Public Safety said the fire appears to be accidental in nature. However, due to the extent of the damage and structural collapse, the origin and cause of the fire could not be determined.
There were a total of 19 fatal work injuries in Maine in 2024. According to a report by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, that number is 8 less from the prior year. The report also says transportation incidents were the most frequent type of fatal events, accounting for 47% of Maine's fatal work injuries. The construction sector accounted for 6 of Maine's 19 fatal injuries. 8 workers 55 years old and over died in 2024. The full report is available on our website.
Over 3,000 protests were held across the country on Saturday for what was called a No Kings National Day of Nonviolent Action. One of those gatherings took place here in Bangor. Thousands lined the streets from the Paul Bunyan statue to West Market Square to voice disapproval of President Trump's administration. The protest was organized by Indivisible Bangor.
It's pretty encouraging, and it's also powerful. We've had a lot of frustration with this current administration, so seeing a lot of people here who feel the same way, it means a lot.
Bangor's protest was one of dozens across the state. Others included Orono, Calais, Monroe, Dexter, Deer Isle, and many more.
There was also a No Kings March in Maine's largest city, a No Kings protest held in Monument Square in Portland on Saturday. Their protest also included a march through the Old Port. Organizers say they voiced opposition to the war in Iran, ICE, and the ongoing DHS shutdown.
Rising oil prices tied to the ongoing war in Iran is impacting communities here in Maine, especially as towns prepare for paving season. Our Alexa Kennedy has the details.
Rising oil prices driven by the conflict in Iran are increasing asphalt costs in Maine, threatening to reduce paving projects and strain municipal budgets. Pain at the pump has been one of the most immediate economic impacts of the conflict, as crude oil prices have surged due to supply disruptions and cuts from major Middle East producers. According to an Associated Press report, Brent crude oil topped $108 per barrel, while U.S. crude neared $98. AP says those rising oil prices are driving up asphalt costs. Maine DOT data shows prices have already increased, and officials say they're closely monitoring trends to assess impacts on project budgets. In Bangor, Public Works Director David Telon says the city is feeling the strain.
Rising fuel costs are obviously impacting activities. They're not slowing us down or stopping us, but they're impacting the budget.
The city is preparing to send paving projects out to bid, but uncertainty remains. Telon says cost increases could vary greatly, but it's too soon to be sure.
We could see a wide swing in the cost of those materials. Until we get that, we really can't analyze it.
That could mean fewer roads get paved this year.
If we have 10 miles worth of paving on there, it'll impact us to reduce the amount of miles we're going to be able to pave this year.
He says with winter damage already taking a toll, delays could have lasting effects.
The condition of our roads coming out of winter especially are in pretty poor condition right now. Potholes opening every day.
Telon warns falling behind now could create bigger problems later.
If we slack off, that means more will need to be done next year, and we'll have to increase our budget to get ahead of it again.
State officials say safeguards like asphalt price adjustments are in place. But if oil prices remain high, both state and local governments may need more funding to keep roads in good condition. In Bangor, Alexa Kennedy, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The time now is 8:10. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, a bond package over $200 million has advanced in the legislature. We'll have more on that ahead.
But first, another check of that forecast. A cloudy day ahead today. We might see a few breaks of sunshine too. Highs around 60 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight, the lows dropping down to the mid-30s. Tomorrow, a chance for everything from rain to snow to freezing rain. The highs tomorrow around 39. We'll be right back.
When I was 29, I was diagnosed with cancer. And I think part of research and advocating for more money for cancer research allows survivors to have more time. Senator Collins supports and advocates for more funding for cancer research so that people can have better treatments, they can have better outcomes, and therefore they can live better lives as cancer survivors. Thank you, Senator Collins. Continue fighting for our families.
Hank's Husqvarna is your trusted full-line Husqvarna dealer, offering you everything you need for your outdoor projects. From high-performance lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers to chainsaws, trimmers, battery-powered and powerful snow blowers, we have just what you need. Every piece of equipment is fully set up, serviced, and ready for use by our certified Husqvarna technician. And all sales are backed by our in-house Husqvarna warranty. For parts, service, or new equipment sales, make your way to Hank's Husqvarna in Carmel or Newport.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
The game of survival is in your hands. Good luck.
They came out here to win $250,000.
Let's go!
You're playing a totally different game than we're playing in the wilderness.
You all want to hate me? That's fine.
Start scheming, boys. I need some goodies.
Please hit that button.
Oh my gosh.
I should have applied for the floor. Rob Lowe wouldn't do this to people.
Extracted, all new tonight on Fox.
A routine select board election in Clifton has turned into a multi-day affair after 2 absentee ballots were discovered outside of the ballot box after the election. Last week, Cynthia Grant was announced to have won that election by a single vote. The thin margin then faced questioning on Friday night after those 2 additional absentee ballots were discovered in a folder. Unaccounted, those votes were challenged by a Clifton resident because, according to the town attorney, Stephen Wagner, the absentee ballots were picked by a candidate or a member of the candidate's immediate family.
The 2 ballots were picked up by a candidate who is the father and husband of the 2 people that voted. We're going to move forward.
Well, in the end, those ballots went unaccounted for because of that challenge. And that candidate could be held criminally liable if any funny business is discovered. The election results announced last week will remain until or if the Maine Supreme Judicial Court says otherwise.
$43 million in new funding is available to support the installation of heat pump water heaters in Maine. The funding is through a multi-state initiative supported by a federal grant to rapidly increase the adoption of heat pump technology across the region. Incentives funded by the program are now available for eligible households through Efficiency Maine rebates of over $1,000. The rebate is provided as an instant discount on heat pump water heater purchases at participating Maine distributors and retailers. A press release from the governor's office says water heating accounts for about 18% of homes' energy use, making it the second largest energy expense for most households after heating.
A bond package of over $200 million has passed the legislature's Appropriations Committee. Legislative leaders say the money will be invested in Maine's future, and Maine voters might get the final say. Our Callie Warren has more.
This includes everything from housing production to infrastructure to clean water to transportation, rural economy, higher education.
A funding package of $207.5 million has advanced in the legislature, bringing Mainers one step closer to being able to vote on what legislative leaders say are essential funding bonds.
I mean, the reason I'm so passionate about bonds is because it doesn't reach into people's wallets in that way. It takes it, the burden away from people's property taxes or income taxes.
The package includes $65 million in funding for transportation maintenance and upgrades. $45 million is set aside for agriculture, conservation, and forestry to support Maine farmers and foresters. $15 million is allocated to resiliency infrastructure and culverts to reduce storm damage. $20 million is set to fund rural affordable housing and mobile home development, while another $20 million goes to residential sewer and water. $20 million will support the expansion of wastewater treatment systems to protect public health and clean water. The package also sends $18.5 million to the University of Maine system to remove underutilized buildings and invest in campus infrastructure. Additionally, $4 million is allocated to court system infrastructure in the Newport region, something that Newport legislator and lawyer Kenneth Fredette has been consistently advocating for.
And a lot of people just in this part of the state are not comfortable driving to Bangor, going into the big city, so to speak. So, for those people that need emergency protection orders, divorces, all that stuff, it's really critical to them.
The proposal is expected to go in front of the legislature next week. If passed by a 2/3 majority, it will go before Maine voters as a statewide referendum in November, with each funding measure to be voted on separately.
The Maine taxpayers can decide as an entire state what we want to go out and bond and invest on.
Callie Warren reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The time now is 8:17. After the break, President Trump is promising TSA officers will now get paid, even as the Homeland Security Department remains shut down.
We'll have a story, plus radio show hosts from local stations held their annual Ton of Pasta event. We'll catch up with them as Good Morning Maine continues.
Ready to create your backyard oasis? Alexander's Professional Landscaping will work with you to create your perfect outdoor space. Work one-on-one with our landscape designer to create a unique garden to fit your family's personal aesthetics and lifestyle. Have our pros install your new lawn, garden, or patio. Schedule a consultation today by calling 573-4497. Alexander's Professional Landscaping, the way landscaping should be.
Who has the best kept secret in Penobscot County?
We do!
Welcome to Maple Lane Farms, a fifth-generation family farm that's committed to providing you with the best quality products. Our farm-raised local and sustainable meat is flash frozen to lock in the freshness and natural flavors. Experience the top-notch quality of our meat that's naturally raised without any antibiotics or hormones. Get the best of both worlds, quality and affordability. Try Maple Lane Farms today, the candy store for the carnivore.
Welcome to outdoor living. Welcome to Granville Stone and Hearth. Goodness knows we've been cooped up long enough. Make plans now to enjoy the outside of your home too. Come to Granville and see, touch, and imagine what you can do in your backyard. Light a path, light a fire, grill a meal, sit a bit. It's all in stock. There's a staycation right outside your door with expert help from Granville, one of the largest outdoor living suppliers in Maine. Granville Stone and Hearth, Main Road, Holden.
Did you know that 50% of the air you breathe in your home is air that comes from Hafford Basement Systems? All things basementy. A wet, damp basement is a real problem. It can damage your valuables, worsen asthma and allergies, and affect indoor air quality. We'll transform your basement into a dry, usable space and improve the health of your entire home. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems for all things basementy.
back, everyone. Bath Iron Works and union members have approved a new contract. According to a BIW spokesperson, union members from the Marine Draftsmen Association voted to ratify the tentative agreement on Saturday morning at Brunswick High School. The new 4-year contract goes into effect immediately. This comes after hundreds of union members went on strike last Monday.
Due to the partial government shutdown, TSA and Coast Guard employees have not received their paychecks since February 14th. The community of Trenton is now stepping up to help ease their burden. On Saturday, WDEA radio host Chris Popper broadcast live from Edwards Brothers Supermarket in Trenton to help raise awareness and to make a difference. Folks at the supermarket could donate gift cards up to $20 in value, or they could donate cash to be turned into gift cards. TSA agents are not allowed to accept gift cards over $20 or any amount of cash. These donations support 7 TSA agents in Trenton, 50 in Bangor, and 90 Coast Guard members.
Listen, people in Maine are so incredibly generous. I have said for 20 plus years, Mainers take care of Mainers and those they love. And it is never more evident in something like this today.
Between the Edwards Brothers fundraiser and other donations accepted across Hancock County, Popper says over $2,000 was raised. If you would also like to support local TSA agents, he advises that you can leave your own donations at your local airport.
With inflation on the rise, affording meals can be tough for Mainers and their families. Bangor area radio stations spent their Saturday stepping in to help. Radio show hosts from Q106.5, Z107.3, and 95.7 I-95 Rocks were at the Brewer Hannaford collecting boxes of pasta, pasta sauce, and cash donations. It's a part of their annual Ton of Pasta event, where they attempt to collect 1 ton of pasta for their local food pantries.
We do not care if you can donate $1, 1 box. It's so helpful because you don't know if it's your neighbor that needs it, coworker, somebody might need it that you know, and it's so important to help everybody out there.
Sproul estimates that the food drive brought in enough pasta to feed over 4,000 Mainers. If you missed the event but still want to help Mainers in your community, Sproul encourages you to donate to your local food pantry.
Yeah, the thing about pasta, it doesn't cost much,
Right.
A couple of bucks for a box, but that will feed a whole family.
And they last a long time too, so awesome. The time now is 8:22. Let's get a full look at our forecast with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. A small craft advisory is up until Tuesday at around 6 a.m. We also have a winter weather advisory that's running until 11 a.m. As we head towards your Wednesday, we will be watching for some wintry precipitation that will be on the way as we head towards your Tuesday. Today and tonight we will be okay. Wave heights for now at around 3 to 4 feet according to the buoys, while farther off towards the north and east a little more active, while farther out towards sea 3 to 4 foot wave heights are being observed at this moment in time. Meanwhile, here we are dry outside this morning under a mostly cloudy sky, and we are going to hold on to the clouds for a good part of this week. We have a front further off towards the north with some energy already taking place. And again, it's going to be leaving us alone for now. We'll just have the clouds today and tonight, but our turn for precipitation will soon be on the way. So we will be under a mostly cloudy sky today, maybe some rain further off towards the north. And then later on tonight, a mostly cloudy sky. The precipitation will leave us alone. We'll get precipitation in here Tuesday. A wintry mix, rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow possibility. I'm definitely concerned about some ice concerns further off towards the north Tuesday night and the parts of your Wednesday, so things may get slippery. I wouldn't be surprised about a little bit of power outage concerns too as we head towards Tuesday night and the parts of your Wednesday. 1/4 of an inch to maybe 3/10 of an inch of ice before we're all finished up from Millinocket up to Caribou too. Nothing further down toward the south. So that means snow accumulation's not too bad, maybe a couple inches further off towards the north, obviously not so much farther down toward the south. So mostly cloudy and windy today with highs in the low 60s, southwest wind at about 30 miles per hour. By tonight, we have mid-30s under a mostly cloudy sky and that northwest wind backing off to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Upper 30s, rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow to watch out for with that northeast wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. For your Wednesday morning rain chances, those will back off with highs in the mid-50s. And then mostly cloudy Thursday with highs in the low 40s. Good Friday, another wintry mix switching to all rain with highs in the low 40s.
Blazing Trails, located in Lincoln, is your #1 trusted caregiver storefront. From personalized consultations to the highest quality product, Blazing Trails provides outstanding patient services to Eastern and Central Maine. Discover how we're blazing the trails to quality holistic medicine.
It's mowing season. And Bad Boy Mowers has the best lineup in the game. Built to win with more power, advanced engineering, and performance that never quits. Whether you're playing on this field or this field. So this mowing season, raise your game and join the team. Bad Boy, mow with an attitude.
Ghirardelli caramel and chocolate. They're great on their own, but together, it's like the Watson to your Sherlock, the SpongeBob to your Patrick, the bestie to your spa day, the apprentice to your sensei, the partner to your picnic, the hero to your sidekick, the caramel to your chocolate, the chocolate to your caramel. Perfect pairs, share a square. Ghirardelli makes life a bite better.
Family Feud asks, what were they thinking?
You're at an open casket funeral. You notice the deceased pants were unzipped. What you gonna do? Unzip pants.
I would write a note.
You want him to read it?
Thinking about fun? Watch Family Feud.
Weeknights at 7 on Fox 22.
Blazing Trails, located in Lincoln, is your #1 trusted caregiver storefront. From personalized consultations to the highest quality product, Blazing Trails provides outstanding patient services to Eastern and Central Maine. Discover how we're blazing the trails to quality holistic medicine.
Now the war with Iran officially entering its second month. More than 50,000 American troops are now in the Middle East as President Trump is said to be considering his next options. ABC's Olivia Rubin has the details.
Overnight, the first American troops reaching the Middle East, and President Trump still not ruling out a ground invasion in Iran.
I just have lots of alternatives. We have tremendous numbers of ships over there. We don't need them all because of, the power.
Negotiations with Iran underway as the war enters its 5th week. Now, Trump saying there could be a deal soon before tamping down expectations moments later.
I would only say that we're doing extremely well in that negotiation, but you never know with Iran because we negotiate with them and then we always have to blow them up.
Overseas, the first U.S. ground troops arriving. 3,500 sailors and Marines from the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, equipped with transport and strike fighter aircraft and amphibious assault capabilities. A second Marine unit expected to arrive in the region in May. And another 1,500 soldiers from the Army's elite 82nd Airborne also preparing to deploy. Those troops trained to parachute behind enemy lines. Meanwhile, dangerous blasts around the region. This video showing the aftermath of an Iranian missile attack at an industrial site in southern Israel. And these videos showing first responders searching through rubble in Tehran. Nearby, several buildings at a university also damaged. Iran now vowing to retaliate for what it says are Israel's strikes on universities, saying all American universities in the region are now fair game. And now Pakistan, which sources tell ABC has been acting as an intermediary between the United States and Iran, announcing that talks are set to happen in the coming days, though neither side confirming. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, smoke was seen rising over Beirut's skyline from the latest Israeli strike on the Lebanese capital, following warnings from Israel's army. The death toll in Lebanon has exceeded 1,200 people in the ongoing war between Israel and Hezbollah, according to the Lebanese Health Ministry. The ministry also said that more than 3,500 people were also wounded since the start of the latest military escalation. Among the killed are 52 healthcare workers. Israel launched intense airstrikes over Lebanon after the Hezbollah militant group fired rockets towards northern Israel in solidarity with Iran on March 2nd. Since then, over 1 million people have been displaced as Israeli ground forces continue an invasion into southern Lebanon.
First paychecks in weeks now being sent to airport security workers. But the long nightmare for Homeland Security employees isn't over yet. Those long lines at the airports may be finally easing, but questions remain about President Trump's new order paying TSA officers. He spoke overnight, revealing new information as the funding standoff in Congress drags on. Olivia Rubin also has that report.
This morning, President Trump is promising TSA workers will get paid indefinitely, even as the Homeland Security Department remains shut down.
We're going to pay them for as long as we have to.
They've gone more than a month without pay, prompting a record number to call out or quit, leading to those long airport security lines. Lines so long, some travelers hired people to take their place and wait for them.
The sooner they get paid, I'm sure that'll help all of us get through these lines quick.
Overnight, the American Federation of Government Employees confirming TSA workers are beginning to see their back pay processed for payment.
Not only do they need to get back paid, but everybody needs like a $10,000 bonus because they have to put their lives back together. The mental strain of going to work and not getting paid for 3 out of the last 5 months is just unbelievable.
But other Homeland Security workers, from the Coast Guard to cybersecurity workers, are still not getting paid. Congress, before leaving on its spring recess, failing to reach a deal on funding the department as Democrats demand changes to immigration enforcement.
I think the Senate is playing it too soft. The Republicans are wonderful people, but we're dealing with very sick individuals. The Democrats are sick. There's something wrong. They're like terrorists.
Border czar Tom Homan says because of the war in Iran, funding the agency is even more critical.
We got to keep the airport safe. We got to keep American people, going through those lines.
Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
The nation's second largest banking system has agreed to a multi-million-dollar payout to victims harmed by the late financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Bank of America says it will pay $72.5 million to survivors of Epstein's sex trafficking operations. The deal covers women sexually abused or trafficked by Epstein from June 30th of 2008 through July 6th of 2019. The lawsuit alleged Bank of America held accounts by victims and associates, such as Epstein's former partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Leon Black, the former CEO of Apollo Global Management. Bank of America says it stands by prior statements that it did not facilitate Epstein and his associates' sex trafficking crimes. The deal does not include any admission of liability by the bank, and it must be approved by a judge. Well, coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll hear more about an event in Bangor that is raising money for pancreatic cancer.
Don't go away.
Seasons Lounge and Banquet Center. We're just one block from Hollywood Slots in Bangor and are now under new management with a new chef and a completely redesigned menu. Come grab a drink and enjoy a meal with us. Bands, food, fun. Seasons.
Need a safe and caring place for your loved one during the day? At the Merchant Center Adult Day program, we provide a supportive environment where adults can enjoy companionship, engaging activities, and personalized care in a setting that feels like home. Our experienced staff is committed to meeting each person's unique needs while promoting independence, dignity, and overall well-being. Families can feel confident knowing their loved ones are in compassionate, capable hands.
Seasons Lounge and Banquet Center. We're just one block from Hollywood Slots in Bangor and are now under new management with a new chef and a completely redesigned menu. Come grab a drink and enjoy a meal with us. Fans, food, fun. Seasons.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Monday, March 30th, 2026, and this is also Doctor's Day.
This is a day to celebrate those who dedicate their lives toward helping others. This holiday first started in 1933 by the wife of a Georgia doctor who felt her husband and other doctors deserve recognition for their hard work. She mailed greeting cards to local physicians and placed flowers on the graves of deceased doctors. The idea caught on, and we've been celebrating doctors ever since.
Doctors certainly deserve a day because they do so much.
They do.
This also shows you can start something like this on a small level,
right,
and before you know it, it turns into like a national holiday.
Large-scale event.
You never know.
Yeah.
If it has good meeting, then
absolutely
something will happen. Right, time for some history. It was on this day back in 1858, Philadelphia inventor Hyman Lipman received a patent for the first pencil with an attached eraser. However, the Supreme Court erased the patent years later after ruling that combining two existing devices made Lipman's invention unworthy of a patent. Feel bad for him, too.
I know, me too.
Yeah, just because, anyway, he joined two things together.
Right.
Made sense to me.
It makes sense to me, too.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. In 1867 on this date, the U.S. reached an agreement with Russia to purchase the territory of Alaska for just $7.2 million. The agreement was ridiculed in Congress and by the press, calling it Andrew Johnson's polar bear garden. But perceptions changed when gold was discovered in Alaska and resources from the state began contributing to American prosperity. They since, of course, have found a lot of oil there and other things. Can't imagine the U.S. without Alaska now. In 1870, the 15th Amendment went into effect, which prohibits federal or state governments from denying a citizen the right to vote based on race. And in 1939 on this date, Detective Comics released issue number 27, which featured the very first appearance of Batman.
And in 1971, Starbucks opened its first store on Seattle's Pike Place Market. In 1981, President Ronald Reagan was shot and seriously wounded after leaving a Washington, D.C. hotel. The shooting also wounded Press Secretary James Brady and a Secret Service agent. John Hinckley Jr. was later found not guilty by reason of insanity and claimed he attempted the assassination because he thought it would impress actress Jodie Foster, with whom he had a fixation. And in 1987, a Vincent van Gogh painting called Sunflowers sold for an incredible $39.7 million. It was the highest ever paid for a painting.
All right, for birthdays today, all talented musicians. They include singer Celine Dion, who is 58 today, singer Tracy Chapman turned 62, and classic rocker Eric Clapton, the slow hand, is 81 years old today. Happy birthday to you also, if your birthday is today.
We'll turn things right back over to meteorologist Evan Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Already we have advisories posted, a small craft advisory up along the coast, and that will last until about 6 a.m. as we head towards your Tuesday. A winter weather advisory up, and that will last until 11 a.m. Wednesday. We do have some wintry weather on the way. Concerns for a little bit of ice that will be on the way moving forward with our next wintry system en route. But for now, we are quiet out there. We will have some clouds that's already developing, and we'll hold on to those moving forward. Today and tonight, we will be dry, but we will have more active weather starting later on into the forecast period. But as we do zoom things out, we're watching activity moving in from the west. There's a front off to the northwest, but it's farther out toward the west. We'll have to watch for more activity that will begin to move in. So futurecast, we're watching for energy clearing out. Will be mostly cloudy today, mostly cloudy tonight. And then once we head towards your Tuesday, notice activity will begin during the afternoon and even evening time frame. That's ice and snow that's farther off towards the north that we'll have to keep an eye on. Hourly forecast moving forward, we'll have clouds today with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. 50s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa?
Thank you, Devin. Still to come here this morning, Max Sturm with sports.
Don't go away.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
The marathon of life can be challenging. Chores and responsibilities keep us from the things we once loved and the aspirations we set. But it's never too late to find your second wind. With an affordable, fully online program and advisors to help you along the way, you can cross the finish line when it works for you. Finish strong at the University of Maine.
At the County Federal Credit Union, we value the trust our members place in us to act in their best interest. Whether it's providing low rates on consumer loans or raising money to end hunger, we work hard to serve our members and the communities in which they live. We are excited to bring the meaningful and impactful work we do to all Mainers as we continue to grow. Wherever you are in life's journey, count on the county to be your financial partner.
Rowell's Garage has been serving customers in the greater Dover-Foxcroft region since 1946. Our goal is not just selling you a vehicle, but also giving you quality service to maintain your vehicle at peak performance. Browse our inventory online or in person. Whether it's a car, truck, or SUV, we can put you in the vehicle that is right for you. Sales, service, and parts. Rowell's Garage. Doing business the right way every day.
Your goal is to put items in the correct order before, in between, definitely after.
This is The Perfect Line. Weekdays at 10 on Fox 22.
Welcome back in, folks. On Friday night, Piscataquis Community High School held an Athletes Honors Night to celebrate the school's athletic accomplishments. I made the trip to Guilford to cover the story.
That's just great because it builds culture around here. It shows that, people care about you and it pushes you to work harder.
Friday night was a special one for Piscataquis Community High School and the Pirates, who celebrated the accomplishments of teams and athletes both current and past with the raising of all new banners in the gymnasium. The school's athletic director, Tom Pansiera, says many of these accomplishments get overlooked and that they all deserve recognition.
Just to have these guys come back and recognize them, and we had so much awesome stuff happen this year so far, so just threw it all together in one night.
It didn't take long for the tears to start flowing as Pansiera, who is also the track and field coach, presented senior Ava Golette with a banner for her 2024 Class C state title and shared a special moment together on the floor.
I will always be grateful that I had the opportunity to be coached by him, and he's definitely the highlight of my athletic career here.
She's a special kid. I got a lot of them. I've coached for a lot of years, and I'm just real proud of her.
Next up was wrestling. 4 100-time winners were honored by the Pirates on Friday. Among them is senior Brady Ball, who says it was a surreal feeling knowing his name will hang in the rafters.
Considering, there's only 6 people that have ever done it, around there at least, I'm not sure the exact number, it was awesome. I just feel special getting my name on the wall.
One of the more recent accomplishments achieved in a Pirates uniform comes from Brady Gaw, who this past season added his name to the list of 1,000-point scorers. And now the banner reflects that.
It's great. I come to these games every single night, and I see all those names. I want my name up there. So all the nights coming in here that's what I was chasing.
Chloe Kimball is one of the former Pirates athletes recognized on Friday, as she and the rest of the 2025 girls tennis team were honored for their North Regional Championship.
Very cool. A lot of our athletics were a very small school, so any recognition towards anything that we do is great.
Lastly, the boys soccer team was commended for their 2025 undefeated 8-person state championship. Unfortunately, their banner did not arrive in time, but instead, each player was presented with their championship jackets, a gold ball replica, and a championship ring.
When I lift up the jacket, it's wow. But it was just a great feeling seeing that.
It'll be a night none of these athletes or coaches will ever forget. In Guilford, Max Sturm, ABC 7 in Fox 22 Sports.
Really cool event out there at PCHS. Now bringing it back close to home in Orono, the Maine hockey team has lost another key player to pro hockey. Earlier this week, the Black Bears lost Josh Nadeau and Frank Jurasevich to the AHL. And on Friday evening, news broke that Thomas Friel will also be leaving as he has signed with the ECHL to join the Iowa Heartlanders, who are an affiliate of the Minnesota Wild. During his career at Maine, Friel tallied 23 goals and 46 assists for a total of 69 points. On top of that, he scored 12 power play goals and was the team captain for the Black Bears in 2025. The Black Bears will surely spend this offseason looking to find players to fill the holes left by the recent departures. Now, we've covered the Husson University men's lacrosse team a whole lot over the last couple of weeks, but the women's team is doing just as well and finally had a home game on Saturday versus Thomas. The Eagles look to improve to 5-2 on the season in their first conference game of 2026, and they get it going right out of the gate. Gracie Gardner finds Layla Martinez, and she nets it to put Husson on the board. Then Gardner drives to the net, lays one low, but it's stopped by Bristol Stein. What a save by the goaltender, but it wasn't long before Husson got back on the board. This time, Kate Bumkey, tough angle, still gets it to go, and Husson kept pouring it on, and the Eagles' all-time goal leader Avery Baker cashes in for her first goal of the day, and that's just one quarter. Second quarter now, Madison Lower on the free position shot, gets it to go. She had 3 on the day. Thomas would get a couple more goals to fall in this game, including this one from Isabella Pelletier, but Avery Baker nets her second of 5 total goals, and the Eagles soar to a 16-6 victory. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
At Old Town Redemption Center, we are always ready to help with any fundraisers or bottle drives. We are here to help our community. Like and follow us on Facebook for upcoming weekly holiday giveaways and our monthly $100 drawing.
Craving something delicious? Welcome to High Street Market, located at 167 Enfield Road in Lincoln. Breakfast options? Grab a cup of coffee and try one of our sandwiches or burritos. When breakfast is over, we're just getting started. Pizza, subs, burgers, and pastries. Come get lost in Danny's Beer Cave. Order online and save 10% off your first order. High Street Market, where your taste buds go to party.
Car accidents can be scary. It can feel like the whole world is crashing down around you. You can't work, you've got expensive medical bills, pain and suffering. Absolute chaos. We'll take the stress and frustrations off your shoulders. We've done that for thousands of people, and we're ready to help you too. Hurt in a car accident? I'm on top of it. I'm your go-to guy.
Call 222-2222.
From the heart of Maine, where rugged beauty meets timeless craftsmanship, Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, taming the outdoors through groundwork, retaining walls and seawalls, building custom fireplaces that become the centerpiece of your home, crafting granite steps and patios that invite you outdoors, designing hardscapes that turn yards into living spaces, built to last, crafted for life. Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, quality in every stone.
At Old Town Redemption Center, we are always ready to help with any fundraisers or bottle drives. We are here to help our community. Like and follow us on Facebook for upcoming weekly holiday giveaways and our monthly $100 drawing.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I missed it when Kathy Chevery visited us here on Good Morning Maine. So I wanted to have you back because there's a really a unique event happening this week in Bangor that's going to help raise money for pancreatic cancer research. Anyone who's watched the morning show over the last couple of years knows it's something that's dear and near to me. I've lost some friends to it. You lost your own sister to this, too,
I did.
Kathy. Yeah.
I did. She was diagnosed in March and died in July.
Goes by so quick.
Yep.
You know,
Stage
it
4
really
right from the beginning.
Yeah. to help turn things around, we need to do things like this, little grassroots efforts. And you've organized a really neat one that's going to happen here in Bangor. What is it, on Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay.
Yes, Wednesday at Bangor's Peaks Auditorium. Small admission fee of $2.
But you have all kinds of neat things planned there.
I do, yes. I have 2 barbershop choruses that are going to sing, and a couple of quartets as well. And we have a giant silent auction. All kinds of really nice
And this
stuff
comes
on
from
that.
businesses and people in the community.
Yeah.
What kind of items are we
Yeah.
talking about here?
Well, we've got gift cards from several of the local restaurants, some of them $50. You
Really?
know. Yeah, and got a basket from one of the pet shops. All kinds of things.
Very neat.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
all going to take place at Peaks Auditorium on Wednesday. What are the times for this?
The show starts at 7. Doors open, I think, at 6.
Okay. So
Give them some time to look at the silent auction items.
okay, this
Yeah.
is going to be something that's going to help a lot of people right here because it's going to go to John Hopkins.
Yes, it's going to John Hopkins, to a doctor down there, Dr. Elizabeth Jaffe. She is running a research program. Also, she's discovering ways to screen for prevention on high-risk patients, but she's having wonderful success with immune therapy.
That's wonderful.
And yeah, she's kind of my hero.
One of the problems with this disease too is sometimes it's not caught. It's frequently not caught until it's really progressed too far along to do a lot with it. So
Definitely, yeah. Unfortunately, I discovered this doctor when I was researching when my sister became ill.
Right.
And it was too late for her. She was not well enough to travel anywhere for a second opinion.
What was your sister's name?
Peggy.
Peggy. What do you think Peggy would think about all this now to see what you're up to?
I think she'd be pretty tickled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she would. It's, you know, it started out as a fundraiser in her memory.
Right.
But immediately, right from the get-go, I discovered that one of my chorus members, rather, had 2 sisters, not one, but 2 that died from this disease.
Pancreatic cancer.
So then it's grown. We now have 9 people on our In Memory Of list, which is printed on the back of my T-shirt. And yeah, it happens too often and too quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you. When I talked about my friend in the past, he was diagnosed, and 2 months later he was gone. It just goes by too quickly.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is a wonderful thing that you're doing. Again, this is going to take place on April 1st. No April Fool's joke here. This is serious stuff. At 7 p.m. at Peaks Auditorium at Bangor High School. Admission just $2, but again, all that money will go right to the research.
Yes.
And if you've got some extra money and you want to bid on some of these auction things, great.
Yep.
And you can just enjoy the barbershop quartet if you want. You know?
Exactly. You don't get to hear barbershop music in this area of the country.
Not very often.
Very often.
Well, Kathy, thank you so much for coming in. And if you do this again next year, let us know. And we'll be glad to get you in here. We'll do everything we can to support you. So
I appreciate it.
We're going to send it back over to Devin now for a final look at that forecast.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. A small craft advisory is up until Tuesday at around 6 a.m. We also have a winter weather advisory that's running until 11 a.m. As we head towards your Wednesday, we will be watching for some wintry precipitation that will be on the way as we head towards your Tuesday. Today and tonight, we will be okay. Wave heights for now at around 3 to 4 feet according to the buoys, while farther off towards the north and east, a little more active. While farther out towards sea, 3 to 4 foot wave heights are being observed at this moment in time. Meanwhile, here we are. We are dry outside this morning under a mostly cloudy sky, and we are going to hold on to the clouds for a good good part of this week. We have a front further off towards the north with some energy already taking place. And again, it's going to be leaving us alone for now. We'll just have the clouds today and tonight, but our turn for precipitation will soon be on the way. So we will be under a mostly cloudy sky today, maybe some rain further off towards the north. And then later on tonight, a mostly cloudy sky. The precipitation will leave us alone. We'll get precipitation in here Tuesday, a wintry mix, rain, freezing rain, sleet and snow possibility. I'm definitely concerned about some ice concerns further off towards the north Tuesday night and the parts of your Wednesday. So things may get slippery. I wouldn't be surprised about a little bit of power outage concerns too as we head towards Tuesday night and the parts of your Wednesday. Quarter of an inch to maybe 3/10 of an inch of ice before we're all finished up from Millinocket up to Caribou 2. Nothing further down toward the south. So that means snow accumulation's not too bad, maybe a couple inches further off towards the north. Obviously not so much further down toward the south. So mostly cloudy and windy today with highs in the low 60s. Southwest wind at about 30 miles per hour. By tonight, we have mid-30s under a mostly cloudy sky and that northwest wind backing off to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Upper 30s, rain, freezing rain, sleet and snow to watch out for with that northeast wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. For your Wednesday morning rain chances, those will back off with highs in the mid-50s. And then mostly cloudy Thursday with highs in the low 40s. Good Friday, another wintry mix switching to all rain with highs in the low 40s.
Grab a cup, fill it up, top it off, weigh it up. Here at Sweet Frog, you are in total control. Sweet Frog, where our secret ingredient is fun.
When I was 29, I was diagnosed with cancer. And I think part of research and advocating for more money for cancer research allows survivors to have more time. Senator Collins supports and advocates for more funding for cancer research so that people can have better treatments, they can have better outcomes, and therefore they can live better lives as cancer survivors. Thank you, Senator Collins. Continue fighting for our families.
Meet the toughest team in the game, Bad Boy Mowers and Bad Boy Tractors. These powerhouses will do whatever it takes to win. Putting in the work with unrivaled engineering, game-changing features like heated seats and an Alpine entertainment system, plus durable implements and style that's in a league of its own. Bad Boy Mowers and Tractors. Power, performance, attitude.
You know Matt pretty well. Did he give you any advice?
He said that I should use 26 words or more.
When every word counts.
Trash panda.
Raccoon.
Yeah.
You had me a trash panda. That was gangster. It pays to choose wisely.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You just won it!
25 words or less every weekday.
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 22.
Grab a cup, fill it up, top it off, weigh it up. Here at Sweet Frog, you are in total control. Sweet Frog, where our secret ingredient is fun.
A vet in Arizona is now reunited with a furry friend that he made overseas. Sterling was in Gaza, and while he was there, he befriended a stray dog. When his assignment came to an end, he had to leave his companion behind.
Everyone cared for him. He just became part of our family.
But that didn't last long thanks to the SPCA International Patriot Pets program, which reunites service members with the dogs and cats that they cared for on deployment. The program stepped in to help, and after their time apart, Sterling was finally reunited with his buddy, Rocky.
I was just really happy to see him, and it was cool. It took him a minute, and I think he realized who I was. and I always gave him hot dogs. So I started feeding him hot dogs, and I think that kind of refreshed his mind and rekindled our relationship. I'm very fortunate and happy.
This is an extensive process that can take up to several months, but it's all to ensure that the animals are safe.
I love that too.
I like it too.
Yeah,
so cute.
And his whole family has a new little family member now. So.
Aw, pets are amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time that we have left for this morning, but as always, we thank you for joining us.
Have a great day, everyone.
Today on 25 Words or Less, she's famous for being selective over which roles she takes. Ah yes, the actor's equivalent of